And a swoosh made noises. Came to understand the first circle of Zerthamon by bringing my own wisdom to the text. In exchange, Dakon opened the next circle of Zerthamon. I think he intends to teach the Unbroken Circle to be in stages, unlocking each circle as I come to understand the previous one. No, I didn't want to do that. Is that a new thing here? I was wondering if maybe give me a new thing. Right, well, let us meander on to the Burning Man. I think there's a couple of magey people there that maybe will teach us magey things.
Done.
Oh, no, let's talk to Mons for Trees. Maybe he can teach me magic. I have some questions. Who are you? I'm called Mons for Trees by the people here, friend. Other questions? Oh, never mind. I thought maybe he could have given me some information. Some new spells. That was one thing I really liked about the idea of D&D. Was just being the idea of trying to collect loads of different spells into your spell book. Oh, he's running around in there. Even if you never really use them that much. I did like that idea. Drusilla, maybe. Logan Trevor, yeah, some questions. What can you tell me about this? Who are you? I am Drusilla, and you must be clueless. Don't ask me how I know that. It just shines off you. Clueless? I think not. Whatever you say, dearie. Answer me some questions. Who is that burning by the entryway? The despair you saw on her face before flits across it again like a black winged shadow before she masters herself. That is Ignis. One of the greatest wizards ever to come out of this slummy excuse for a cesspool. They caught him and they opened a channel to the plane of fire through him, and now he's just a doorway for it, keeping himself alive by force of will alone. If someone could douse him for a moment, it'd give him his life back again, but they don't make enough water to do that. What's your connection to him? Her voice practically throbs with a deep ache. I was Ignis's lover, and he my beloved. He loved the flames more than me, and now he has become the flame, and because I love him, I love the flame. That's all done with now. Now I wait for him to douse himself. I sell what little I have just so I can be near him. Questions maybe? No. Never mind. Can I talk to Ignis? This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly above an iron grill above the floor of the bar. It may have once been human, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Hello, ominous music. Streams of fire form a wreath around the creature's body, and the flames lick at the few remaining pockets of flesh, causing them to bubble and run like wax down the creature's skeletal frame. Greetings. The thing makes no response. It writhes slowly within the flames. It lives, but it doesn't seem aware of anything other than the fire that surrounds it. Its skin is flame. Its heart is flame, and you know within some shadowed corner of your memory, this thing is dangerous. Examine it anyway. The heat surrounding this creature is incredible. To your surprise, the iron grill the creature floats above has sagged and bent from the heat. At first you thought the heat came from the grill, but now you realize it emanates from the creature. As you watch, flecks of ash drift from the writhing corpse and float slowly to the ceiling. I'll leave you alone then, Ignis. Were there any wizards around here? Are you a wizard, Kandrian? Once again, you are struck by the... Have your travels brought forth what you need? Not yet. I have some questions, Kandrian. Who are you? Kandrian Ilborn, traveller, dreamer, tailspinner, and so forth. Tell me of the planes, then. I am tired, Seeker. So tired. I am fresh back from negation. I will answer what I can for you, but I cannot promise that you will find satisfaction in the answers I give. What do you mean by negation? I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. I made the mistake of visiting the negative material plane in order to understand my body's urge to decay and the cycle of death in life. I thought myself protected against the ill effects of the plane with my magic, but I was wrong. The blackness of infinite nothing pressed on my soul, and I was beset by shadows that sought to snuff out my very soul. I lost my way for a time, for an eternity, and nearly lost my existence. I could feel my essence falling away from me, and am even now half gone. Never will I return fully. How did you
Updated
survive?
my journal.
How? With a piece of nothing that held back the nothing. Nothing can stop nothing, you know, and so I carried nothing in my hand to protect me. Do you plan to journey to the ultimate negation yourself? You have the smell of desperation about you, so I make you this gift. Hold it in your hand when the shadows press in, and it shall protect you and your friends somewhat, should they remain close to you. Passes you a small black token, looks as if it's no dimensionality to it at all. Thanks. Tell me more of the planes. Inner plane, the outer planes, prime material, inner planes. What's the difference? The difference is true essence seeker. The inner planes are matter, substance, true physicality. They are the building blocks of the multiverse, for it is through them that all belief in the elements spring. The inner planes filter through the ethereal plane, the plane of potential, some might say, which forms the elements into the worlds of mortals. Once past the ethereal plane, one reaches the prime material, where exists all manner of mortals and monsters and myths and machines. It is there that belief is born, and there that the spirits that create the outer planes are born. When mortals die, they pass through the astral plane, and no place that is thought and mental energy it is self. It is in all things, and in none. It is paradox among all others, and it filters spirits into the great ring. Do you comprehend so far? Yes, I think so. Now, the outer planes, where should I start? Do you know the cardinal rules of the planes on which all others are based? Do you know about the composition of the outer planes? Do you know the Great Ring and its divisions in our hearts? Do you know the individual planes? Each of these leads to the next, so it is best to start from the beginning. Composition then. The outer planes are created of and by belief and thought and faith. They take their imagined form from the prime material plane, shaped into forms that stagger the imagination, built by the accumulation of belief. Belief creates the planes. Belief is power here. Change belief, and you can change the nature of reality. The creatures that are born here, the plane-born, like the fiends and celestials, are truly born of the thoughts and concepts of mortals. They each express some sort of ideal, and the more powerful the idea, the more powerful the being. Thus, the being that symbolizes love is one of the strongest of all. Go on. That's why the powers, gods some call them, live out there. This is where all the faith in them comes. This is where they are at the most pure and most strong. Their realms are extensions of their very beings, manifestations of their godly essence, all of it informed by belief. So the composition of the planes is a belief. Tell me of the Great Ring. Among the loose unity of planeswalkers, we conceive of the infinite outer planes as a ring surrounding the plane of ultimate neutrality, the Outlands. The spire atop which Sigil sits is in the centre of the Outlands. The further one travels away from the spire, the less neutral the plane grows until it spills into the neighbouring planes. Each of these planes impinges on the Outlands, spinning themselves into law and chaos, good and evil. The Great Road marks the demarcation between the Outlands and the gate towns that spring up around the gates to these planes. Beyond the gate towns lie the hinterlands, uncharted areas that is lost to history, that loses thought. Danger lies in the hinterlands. Go on. The outer planes differ by morality, not substance. For you, we'll divide the planes into three sets. The upper planes of good, the lower of evil, and the boundary planes of neutrality. These are then divided further by law and chaos, with the Outlands in the middle. Which of these interest you? The upper planes. Of the upper planes, there are the neutral planes, the lawful planes, the chaotic planes. What would you know? The lawful planes. Kandrin gives a small shudder. I am not the best person to speak of the planes of law, he says. For the innate structure and ultimate patterns they impose frighten me. I steer clear of them because I value my individuality more than I value the knowledge they will bring me. They include regimented Arcadia, nearest of the good planes to the unbending order of Mechanus, and Mount Celestia, home of the Archons, an island in the Silver Sea. The rest of the upper planes. The neutral ones. The neutral upper planes contain the Beastlands, a place of neutrality and goodness, with a slight tinge of chaos. But if it's leaning towards chaos, it's not neutral. They hold Bitopia, twin paradise of industry and labour, where all work toward the good of all, and Elysium, the sweetest plane of goodness and calm I have ever come across. Alas, right now, I am not well enough to enjoy all of their restorative effects. What would you hear of? Let's hear about the chaotic good places. These are where I feel at home, though I steer clear of Isgard for the most part. The endless battles and tests of metal among the floating earthbergs of the plains don't do much for my disposition. Arborea, though, he sighs. The mountains are taller, the air clearer, the rivers purer, and the game larger than anywhere else. It is a true paradise. A place where passions run high and the wine never ceases to flow. When I have recovered enough of my wits and myself, when we have done with the outer planes, you should ask me of the inner, and I will describe my journey to you. I will return to Arborea's bowers and glades and lose myself for a time. Tell me of the other planes. The boundary planes. There are two boundary planes to my mind. They are diametrically opposed. One of them, Mechanis, is the very essence of law. A place where beliefs fit together, interlocking, turning in a massive machine that is the entire plane. Some folks would have it that the gears of Mechanis are the engine that drives the planes. The other plane is Limbo, a swirling morass of chaos that follows no rules, none, and just when a body thinks he's classified its behaviour, it goes and changes on him, or it doesn't. You just can't tell. I was in Limbo not too long ago. Oh, tell me of your journey. He closes his eyes, remembering. I had a Githzari guide with me, an Anarch, who could shape the illogical matter of the plane into forms of his desire. We had fought off the harrying of the Sladi, the chaos creatures who call that place home. It seemed there were more than usual, but then, one can never tell what is usual in Limbo. But I digress. In the midst of all this chaos, we came across a series of huge metal, interlocking cubes, like some sort of puzzle box. It wasn't something we had shaped, consciously or not, and we couldn't find a way inside. It was like a bastion of order within the confines of disorder, a seed of law. That is the best I can explain it.
Updated my journal.
Ooh. Then the lower planes. Like the upper planes, the lower are divided into lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Each of them varies in terms of horrors, and what those horrors do to a traveller's spirit, and all of them are best avoided. Let's hear of the lawful first. As much as I detest the order of the lawful upper planes, at least they present a modicum of goodness. Their lower planar counterparts, though. Acheron's a place of ricocheting cubes that never see an end to battle, swarming with the souls of dead humanoids. Bator, he shivers involuntarily. Bator is a place best avoided. Those Bartazu, the fiends in the corner there, are but the merest expression of the deviant corruption embodied in that soulless machine of order. If you want more, talk to them. But remember, all that is bad about bureaucracy and order originates from Bator, and it spreads like a stain across the hearts of mortals. Though there is some knowledge to be found there, it is rarely within the spiritual... Some knowledge to be found there is rarely worth the spiritual rape the plane inflicts. Tell me of the neutral ones. The neutral planes, eh? They're vile and barely understandable, and they're more insidious on their own than you could imagine. Take Gehenna, for example. 4 volcanoes in stages of dormancy floating in an infinite void, each of them somehow alive, and each of them wanting your soul by whatever means they can get it. Populated with Yugoloths, the worst of the fiends in my opinion, and you've got the place. The plane of ultimate evil, at least that's what they call it, is the grey waste, and no place that drains colour from your body and spirit, stealing away even your apathy, and it's the site of the worst battlegrounds in the war down there. Don't get me started. Then you've got Carcerai on the chaotic side. Tell me about the war. Aye, the blood war. At the name, your blood feels as if it freezes in your veins. Illborn doesn't seem to notice, wrapped up as he is in his memories. 2 armies of fiends smashing together pointlessly across the lower plains, slaughtering mindlessly in the name of law and chaos. They'll aggrandize it, of course, but in the end it's about hate, and stupid endeavour that aids none and harms far too many. Tell me about this Carcerai. Ah, Carcerai, and its poisonous jungles, acid swamps, destructive waters, strung like a string of rotten pearls, nestled within one another. He pauses and looks at you carefully, again fixing you in place with his eyes. Remember this, Seeker. Carcerai is a prison, home to the Geraleths, one of the most dangerous types of fiends there is. The strength of the prison is the strength of the captor, as strong as the prisoner lets it be. Destroy the prison keeper and a body can escape the red prison. There is almost no other way out. Not when the gates close themselves against you and watch you spin off into the vast space surrounding the orbs. Be wary of Carcerai, traveller, for its bonds can be greater than flesh.
Updated my journal.
The chaotic planes. The abyss isn't someplace you should consider going. Where Bator's all orderly, the abyss is full of chaos and change, and none of it is pleasant. When it becomes something that approximates normality, that's when you should be most wary of it. It's home to the Tanari, what most primes call demons, and they've got that name for a reason. They are unpredictable and murderous, and a few you can trust are few and far between. The few I have met who I trust, I still don't trust entirely. They are creatures of chaos and evil incarnate, and if they're putting on a friendly face, who's to say it's not part of a larger agenda? The plains, the great rings, the outlands. The outlands are absolute neutrality. Probably the best place for a body to visit in the outer planes outside of Sigil, if you don't want to have a plane's morality forced into your heart. Everything balances out in the outlands, as it should be, for the plane that sits at the centre of the outer planes. Power's realms are scattered about here, and there are handfuls of gate towns that open to the rest of the outer planes. The gate towns usually mirror the philosophy of the plane their gates open onto, and if the balance of belief isn't kept in the town slips into the nearby plane. It's a bad situation for everyone, because few of the folks in the towns really want that change. But none of the outlands, what more would you know? Planes? Any more of the planes in general? The inner planes. He sighs as if this reminded him of his bone-deep weariness. Think of the inner planes as a globe. On the top pole, you have the positive material plane. On the bottom, you have the negative material plane. He pauses. Remind me to tell you of the negative. His eyes turn inward to some private horror. From the interaction between the two springs all of the urges for existence and non-existence, death, life, actuality and nothing. From them spring the basic elemental planes, fire, water, air, earth. The para-elemental planes that lie between the four basic elements, and the quasi-elemental planes that come from the interaction of the four with the positive and negative. Tell me of the negative. I went to the Interplay to discover my true essence. Tell me of the other planes then. Inner planes. Tell me of the rest of the planes. You know, oh, right. Oh, what? Inner planes. Show more. Oh, that's it. Okay. Prime material. You want to know of the prime? This is it. The boundless worlds of that plane have an infinite variety, as do the planes. But I cannot encapsulate them as I have here. Suffice it to say, they are the birth of the outer planes, the children of the inner, and they hold limitless potential within their boundaries. Anything else? No. Forget it. Oh well. Okay. What did I get in my journal? Right. Kandrian told me of the trip into the negative material plane, Heart of Limbo, and Carcerai. So it's not mentioned all of them there, just a small number of them. We need to go and speak to Farod. That's the main quest we've got. We can do. I don't think we're getting any more spells. I mean, there might be a few people we can go and bother that might be able to give us some spells. But I think it might be good. We'll put the cut in here, I think, for this session. And okay, and next time we will probably go and actually try and speak to Farod and find where he be. But that will be next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.